Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do some more iron arm conditioning. The condition of your forearms is of utmost importance as they're your main defensive shield and main attacking and defending tool. Everything on the top line is going to be met with forearms, elbows, and these heavy bones are going to be our main defense. So we need to condition these bones so they can take a lot of punishment. We need to be able to bridge directly against the front of a jab, maybe splitting these small bones, matching the large bones of our forearms against the small bones of people's hands and slamming them against necks, causing damage and using them as one of our main tools. So we're going to need them to be very tough, very durable and dense and able to absorb this punishment. So we're going to do some more conditioning. We're going to begin this by warming up the forearm muscles and the joints in the wrist by palming forward, sinking our ribs and pulling our fingers right back, concentrating on the ligaments down the back of our forearm, trying to draw our knuckles back as close to our forearm as we can. So we palm forward, stressing this kind of movement, palming, and then we turn back, pivoting on our heels, turning and do pixel, emphasizing the closing of the wrist, working these large forearm muscles and working them there. Then we palm, repeating, pivoting on our heels, turning our body, sinking our ribs and palming forward and concentrating on drawing our fingers back and working the muscles on the outside of the forearm. Then pivoting, doing our pixel and concentrating on this wrist movement, snapping to it, working the muscles down the inside. So we work the outside and the inside of the forearm, bringing blood and chi down to the arm, getting the forearm muscles prepared for more impacted work in a moment, using our stance, using our body, practicing synchronizing these movements, turning our elbow, sinking our body and lining up our bones, lining up our wrist to our elbow, to our shoulder, through our ribs, down for our pelvis, down to the ground. We palm forward. Then we pivot, we twist the shoulders, we twist the wrist, we snap up. We don't turn our elbow out, but we rotate and we activate our forearm, propelling our arm outward to the side. So using pixel and our palm, we can warm our forearm thoroughly and get this area full of blood and ready to do some more work. We're going to take a stance. I like to take a horse stance, work my legs a little bit during the exercise. We're going to put our arm out and we're going to swing around a circle, pivoting our shoulder, coming up and banging the top of our forearm against the bottom of our stationary arm. Bump, and then we circle and bump, and we circle and bump. So we use this to practice impacts against the bottom of our arm. We hold a fist, but we hold it relaxed, and we allow the force to come up into the bone of our arm, trying to get it used to this impact and this vibration, keeping our elbow twisted so that it doesn't jar against our elbow joint. So our elbow sunk, elbow activated here so that it strikes against the bottom of the arm. And we practice this impact, keeping our ribs engaged, keeping our shoulder engaged, and sending the vibration through our arm, hoping to gain more density in the forearm bone over time and become used to taking impacts to this muscle on the forearm for our mutsao and various defensive positions, so that we can become used to any impact to this, so that it becomes used to it. Then to condition the other side of our arm, We're going to have our arm out, we're going to relax our hand, relax our arm, keep our elbow floating so as to not jar the joint. If your elbow is turned and you receive an impact, it twists the joint against where it's supposed to turn. The joint should be able to work like the hinge, like it's supposed to. So keeping our arm twisted and our elbow upright, we come up and we gao choi against the top part of our arm, sinking our weight, sinking our ribs, and allowing the weight of it to sink into our arm. We then come up and we strike the middle of our arm, and we come up and we strike down at the bottom of our arm by our wrist. So 1, 2, 3. Getting the arm used to downward impacts, people patting, palm striking, things striking the top of our arm. Should be no big deal. We should be able to take this. So we get used to it with our hammer fist, using as much force as we're able to without causing too much pain. Some small discomfort is normal, but you shouldn't be like destroying your arm. Strike and spend time building up the density until you're used to it. So striking 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Building up the density in the back of the arm, as we did with striking the bottom. Building up vibration through the arm to build up density in the forearm bone, make this bone stronger, able to take more impact, able to defend us against strikes coming in, jamming against hook punches, various defensive things, all taken on the forearm. So the next exercise is going to be a press-up variant, impacting against this outside bone. This outside bone is close to the surface of the skin. The muscles are on the outside and on the inside, but on the outside here the bone comes close to the surface, so it's very sharp, able to jam hard against your opponent and cut deeply into their flesh, jam against the small bones of their fists, maybe break them and cause damage. So this side of the forearm needs to be conditioned very well, so that from your Sambo gym floating position you can jam forward, jamming on a jab punch, splitting the fist, cutting on the neck, and general attacks with these bones. We're going to begin in a press up position like a normal press up, as if we've sunk, chest close to the floor, hands like this, and we're going to spring up and we're going to turn, sinking our elbows in, sinking our chest, rounding our back, and we're going to land on our forearm bones. Bang. If we do a ginger fist, this will help pull the tendons and expose this bone in the side of the forearm, giving us more impact, giving us more structure. So we go from our press up position, we spring, we land on our forearm bones, sinking our chest, rounding our back, turning our elbows in, banging down on these forearm bones, landing. We push off these, we spring, and we come back up onto the hands. We push off, we spring, and we land, bang, on the forearm bones, elbows turned in, wrists turned, hands in a ginger fist position, impacting along the line of this forearm bone, controlling it through our upper arm, through our shoulder joint, sinking our chest and rounding our back, pushing our power forward at the elbow, forearm, wrist, bump. We spring up and we land on the hands. We spring off the hands, we land on the forearms. We spring off the forearms, we land on the hands. So we repeat this in a press-up type manner, impacting down on the forearms with our weight, practicing, getting used to this impacted force, but spread across the line of the forearm against the ground, using our body weight to work against our chest and our rib structure, practicing turning the elbows in, turning the elbows out, turning the elbows in, turning the elbows out, practicing the rotation of the elbow joints and the sinking of the chest and impacting the forearms, building up condition along the outside of this forearm bone. The next exercise we're going to do is going to be conditioning higher up the forearm bone, closer to the elbow along here. And this is going to be by striking forward with the elbow joint, but pushing round in the back and pushing the forearm into it, striking along the bottom edge of the forearm bone where it joins the elbow. So we come forward, we strike on the water bag, striking with our elbow, turning our waist and opening and striking with the back of our forearm, bang, against the water bag. We can then come in again, striking with the forearm bone, conditioning the top of the forearm bone against the water, allowing it to sink into our arm, allowing our arm to sink into it, allowing it to wrap around our arm and compress, feeling the density of it, then turning our waist, springing and striking with the back of our forearm bone against the water bag. So we can practice this in a nice chain, striking and striking 1, 2, always trying to keep it high up the forearm, using the power at the waist and the sinking of the ribs to apply force to it, shutting, closing the ribs, extending the forearm bone, rounding the back, striking against the water bag, and twisting, opening the arm and striking with the back of the forearm, bang against the bag, much like striking on the inside of an arm and on the neck, inside of a fist, knocking the arm away. These various movements are going to be very useful to us, striking against the chest, opening up on the arm and jamming against the inside of hooks with our heavy bone, causing damage to the biceps. So these forearm bones need to condition. This nasty outside bone needs to be very sharp and very used to these impacts. So we strike it on the water bag and open up, strike on the water bag and open up, getting this arm used to being struck with as well as receiving strikes. We can then do the same exercise but on the dummy. Dummy is harder, sharper, doesn't fold around us, so it gives us a sharper impact. So we bang our elbow, sinking our chest, taking pains to be conscious of our technique and the rounding of our back, and less concerned about how hard we're hitting it. We should be able to use the technique and use our smoothness and control our power and keep it at a level that we're happy with so as to not cause injury, don't chip our bones. So we strike the wood with the end of our forearm bone, turn the waist and strike with the outside of our forearm bone. Then we rotate the shoulder, turn the waist, strike with the forearm bone, open out and strike with the back of the forearm. For this exercise, as you strike, don't cut, chop outward until you're ready to take a heavier impact to the bone. If it's very heavy on this forearm bone here, turn the hand in as you open and it will spread the impact over the muscles of the back of the arm, making it less sharp, and you can build up to cutting outside with the outside of the edge of the hand turned towards, making this bone from the wrist to the elbow more exposed. So we can turn it in, spread it over the two bones, or we can turn it out and make it more impactive, sharper and a deeper impact depending on our level of conditioning. So we strike the dummy and we turn out striking the dummy with the back of the forearm, or we strike the dummy and we cut out with the edge of the forearm bone, making it sharper and more impactive. The next exercise we're going to do is going to be Pian, the slicing bridge, and we're going to practice and concentrate at power at the chest. We're going to sink our chest, turning our shoulders and snapping back, extending the elbow, extending the whole forearm bone, not out like this, like a hammer fist type action, but from the elbow, pushing the whole bone out, striking with this bone and digging it into the water bag. Striking, dropping, turning the shoulders, snapping into our stance and striking out with the other forearm bone, and rolling and striking against the water bag, getting us used to striking forward, impacting, gripping our waist, controlling our stance through our ribs and our spine, sending the power up to the elbow and to the wrist joint, through this bone, striking forward, sinking into the water bag, striking forward, sinking into the water bag, practicing exposing this bone and sending it towards the enemy, and striking against their neck, vulnerable points on the insides of their biceps against hook punches, various things that we can do, causing damage to our opponent as they attack, using these bones as a defensive offensive measure. These are some additional conditioning methods for the forearms, helping to emphasize this outside bone, building more resilience, more density, more ability in attack and defense, the ability to jam and cut in against our opponent, smashing, attacking fists, attacking bridges down and striking over the top. For all of this, it's necessary to have heavy and powerful bones in the forearm, and these are some more methods to gain this density. So, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.